Josh here. We're reading Genesis chapter 46, verses 28 through 34, and we're going to see a wonderful reunion between Joseph and his daddy, Israel, his daddy, Jacob. So he had sent Judah ahead of him to Joseph to show the way before him to Goshen, and they came into the land of Goshen. Again, we see the primacy of Judah here. Judah is leading everybody to Egypt, and remember, as I told you a couple readings ago in the book of Numbers, at the beginning part, it explains the organization of the Israelites as they leave Egypt and how they're supposed to form themselves in the desert as they're making this great procession into the promised land. Judah, the tribe of Judah, is the tribe that leads them. And so just as Judah led the Israelites into Egypt, Judah will lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Then Joseph prepared his chariot and went up to meet Israel, his father, in Goshen. He presented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. I am sure he wept on his neck for a good while. Jacob thought Joseph was dead, and now it's like he got brought back from the dead. Israel said to Joseph, "Now let me die, since I have seen your face and know that you are still alive." This is it. It cannot get any better than this, he says. Joseph said to his brothers and his father's household, here's what we need to do. We got a little bit of an issue we need to address because, guys, you all are shepherds, and there's a particular place we need to stay at. And let me tell you how we're going to interact with Pharaoh so that you are in the best place that you need to be. So Joseph said to his brothers and his father's household, "I will go up and tell Pharaoh and say to him, my brothers and my father's household who are in the land of Canaan have come to me. They're here. And the men are shepherds," which will turn out to be a problem, "for they have been keepers of livestock, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have." You know those stinky, smelly shepherds? That's my family. That's what I came from. They're really good shepherds, but they're stinky and smelly. And they brought them all with them. They brought all the sheep with them. So they're here, and they're stinky and smelly, and they're here. And then when Pharaoh calls you and says, so he's saying, that's what I'll say to Pharaoh, and then Pharaoh's going to call you to himself. And when he says, "What is your occupation?" you shall say, "Your servants have been keepers of livestock from our youth, even until now, both we and our fathers, in order that you may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians." You see, you can't quite live inside Egypt. You can't quite live in the best places because you're a shepherd. Now, we could kind of maybe hide that, I suppose, because maybe that's not your true ultimate identity. But actually, it's going to be a benefit to us if we live in the land of Goshen. Because the reason all of this is having to happen is because shepherds are an abomination to the Egyptians. And it's an attitude we need to understand in our mind, is that the book of Corinthians tells us, this makes me think of something else, but the book of Corinthians tells us that we as Christians have an aroma. Because we trust in Jesus, we have a spiritual aroma, not a real aroma, but we smell with the way that we act. And the book of Corinthians tells us that smell, for those that love Jesus and love God, it smells so sweet, it smells so good. But to those that don't love God, those that don't trust in Jesus, it absolutely stinks. And we become an abomination in their noses. We are bothersome to people because of our faith and trust in Jesus Christ. And so it's an attitude we need to realize. We will not always be accepted by all, but we are always accepted by God's family. So Pharaoh, as much as he's happy to have them there, he doesn't want the smelly shepherds living within the proper Egyptian place. They need to live over in the land of Goshen, which actually will be beneficial for the Israelites, particularly as they grow in number. I hope that's been a blessing to you, and I will see you all in the next video.